Hey Gender Career Chat, Joe here. It is, well, it's Thursday at the moment, but it's Fridays with Joe on Gender Career Chat. And today's topic is about the third sex. So there was an article in the India Times, the Times of India, and I'll just read you some of the pertinent information here. Pandi transgender first to get unique identity. So somebody from Puducherry, Sheethal, I'm sorry, my pronunciation is awful here. The transgender from Puducherry, who became the first person to be enrolled as a member of the third gender under the Unique Identification Number Project, is elated that the government agency has finally recognized the community's gender status. The inclusion of a third gender in census enumeration is the result of an untiring struggle. The members of the transgender community are not considered for any of the official documents, like voters' identity cards and ration cards. We have been discriminated against by others. We had lost our identity and had no place to stay. So far, members of the marginalized transgender community were being categorized as either male or female for administrative convenience. And Sheethal became the first transgender in the country to be enrolled as the third gender when the Unique Identification Number Project was launched. So I found the article very strange because I thought trans people, well, I should not speak on behalf of all trans people, but I thought that a lot of trans people wanted to be a specific gender. They're just not the gender they were born in. And so when they transition, they would become the other one. To have a third one, this sounds to me like in India there's a situation where if you're not one or the other, they were considered nobody at all and then discriminated against with government funding and stuff like that. Because in, I guess, North American or Western cultures, people are usually identified at birth, and then that gender is the gender they are for the rest of their life unless they have, go to change it. Whereas maybe here, if you were trans, you were ousted or treated differently in the eyes of the government. I don't know the story about what happened in India, but I found the article very strange. So we've kind of just extrapolated it, and we've decided to make this week's topic just, would you like to be part, like if there was an option on a census or something to be the third gender, would you pick it? And absolutely, yes I would. I really liked what Micah had to say yesterday or on Wednesday. I do not think it's applicable. The word that I would use would be non-applicable. If there was an NA, male, female, or not applicable, that's the one I would pick. Because it doesn't matter. And I think Chris mentioned either in his video or we were discussing on my Facebook, the subject came up on my Facebook a few weeks back. The titles sometimes are used in lieu of gender. I guess it's a sneaky way of getting around asking you point blank what your gender is. You can say, oh, are you Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. or... and of course I always pick Mr. Always. And that is still, part of the binary. You're still picking one and not the other. When given the option to not pick any at all, of course I pick none at all. So I do not care for the binary. The third option seems a little strange. I'm so sorry. Every time I make a video, Eli, come on. The third one, I know some of the people were saying that... Come on, Eli. Come on. Whoa, sorry about that. Some of the people were saying that they feared being discrimination in the US because of... because a third gender would breed discrimination. Now I live in Canada and things are a lot less intense here when it comes to human rights and violation thereof. Just to give you an example, we had gay marriage in Canada. Well, we had gay marriage in several provinces for many years, and then I forget what year, 2006 or 7 or... Gay marriage passed federally, which means anyone can get married in Canada. And that piece of legislation actually passed under a minority conservative government. So, oh, for God's sakes, this cat's driving me crazy. The Canadian conservative government is kind of similar to the American Republican government. And if you could imagine Republicans passing gay marriage, just get an idea that that's what happened in Canada. We actually did have that piece of legislation passed by a conservative government. Now, it was minority, which you can look it up if you want, but with Canadian minority governments typically pass really, really good legislation. Universal health care came in under a minority government. as did gay marriage. So what I was saying was just, if the opportunity existed for me to pick a third gender on a form, I wouldn't fear discrimination, and I wouldn't fear repercussions of picking that. And I think I'm very privileged, I really do, because I live in a culture where I don't ever worry about being, ousted for the things I mean, being discriminated against for the things I say or the things I do, other than your run-of-the-mill sexism. But, I don't fear, I don't think I'll lose my job, or I'll be beaten up, or I'll be killed if I say that I'm gender neutral. I've been saying it for years, and there's been no fallout from it yet. Okay, I'm kind of running late this morning. My hair's wet, and cat's screeching. So I'm gonna get going. Sorry this video is so short, but I kind of wanted just to touch on the fact that I think the article alluded to something different than we're talking about. I think something is strange in India, and I don't exactly know what it is, but it has to do with transgenders not wanting to identify as the gender that they feel they are, that they know they are, but rather as a third one. Okay, that's it. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.